there, friends and sane persons, and welcome to another episode of Wednesday Whimsy. My name is Kyle, and Wednesday Whimsy is a short show I do every Wednesday evening where I talk about a board game, a top 10 list, or some other board game related topic or something else, whatever happens to be on my mind. Well, recently what's been on my mind is big boxes. I was looking forward to the new Lost Ruins of Arnak big box, and it arrived, and I was excited about it. I was looking for a couple others that sort of, games that are a little bit too big for the box they come in, that sort of the company comes out with a newer big box, a built-in storage solution, something like that. And because I was thinking about that game, it got me thinking about other games where there's a big box. Now, I often do a top 10 on these shows, but this time I wanted to do two top 5s. And so what I'm going to do is talk about my top 5 bad big boxes and my top 5 good big boxes. So it makes 10 in total. I don't have them with me because they're much too large. And I'll tell kind of what I think it makes a good big box and a bad big box as I'm going through it. When I say big box, I'm not talking about a game that just comes in a big box. I mean, there are some of those too, like Oathsworn, for example, or Gloomhaven. They're just in big boxes. There's no smaller version of those, though. I'm talking about a game where somebody later on comes out and says, here is a newer, bigger box to store all the stuff we made for the game. You can see some of them behind me. And, there's a couple more. I mean, I'm just talking about 10. And they're ranked, and I feel strongly about some of them and less strongly about others, but let's get going. Let me see if I can do my number 5. All right, my number 5 is one of my favorite games, but this is just a gross big box. This thing, it was promised it was going to be an amazing thing. It cost like $100, maybe 150. It was just abominable. The game is called Too Many Bones. Now I'm doing my bad big boxes first. The Too Many Bones Trove Chest. Let's see if I can find a picture of it. This thing, it's large. It's made partially of wood. I'm not having any luck here. Anyway. So Too Many Bones is a fantastic game, and the base game comes in this, well, apparently somebody's sending me all these messages. The base game comes in this really very small box. The original was a little bit bigger, but I can share the screen here at least. So Too Many Bones, original comes in this fairly small box. The game came out with this large, big box edition. It's about 3 feet tall. It weighs about 50 pounds by itself, and it has these large drawers that you actually have to use a magnet to pull out because they don't just open by themselves. They're sort of flush with the top. And the problem with it, first of all, it's huge. It's not portable. And so, this is a game that you really kind of have to store the box near the table if you're going to use it because it's just so big. And then also, while it came with a storage solution, right, that came with some trays, which are quite nice, and some dividers and things, it didn't really tell you where to put all the stuff. It did a little bit, right, but it left a lot to be desired in terms of, well, I'm not able to show anything, so I'll take this down. It zoomed in on me again. Let me see. I don't know what to do when it does this. I'm just going to remove myself and there we go. No, I'm all blurry. Oh, I hate this program. All right, I'm back. I don't know why it made me blurry, but sometimes it does. Anyway, Too Many Bones. It was a huge box. It was too heavy. You can't really carry it to your table, and it wasn't well organized. And also, they use these dividers for the chips, and they refused to sell you anymore. And they're not the kind of thing you can just find anywhere. So, Too Many Bones big box, a pretty bad big box. Let's go to number 4. All right, my number 4 is, well, a game, obviously. This is a game, it's a great game, one that I love, and it came in a box when they did a Kickstarter recently, they promised a box big enough to store it and its expansions. Now, this was when we were all sort of conditioned to the Scythe size big box. Well, this one, they kind of said, yep, we promised it, and they delivered an enormous monstrosity of a box. This game is Everdell. The box for Everdell, for the deluxe edition or whatever it's called, is the size of a small child, and it's impossible. You won't find anywhere to store it. It's the the description here on Board Game Geek refers to it as a gigantic box, and it is a gigantic box. It is just too big really to be useful. It's not going to fit anywhere, and while there is a storage system, it doesn't help you get it to the table really. It's kind of cumbersome. And it feels like, there you can kind of see the size of the box. Now that doesn't show you the depth, although this picture does. This box is so much bigger than the base game. I almost wish I just kept the base box and had it stuffed to the gills rather than getting this big one. The game, it makes me not want to play it. I love the game, but the big box is pretty bad. Let's go on to number 3. Similar to Everdell, the other box that kind of, for some reason, gets compared to it the game is called Wingspan. Wingspan is a game that I enjoy. When it came out, it was all the rage. They came out with something called the nesting box, and the nesting box is kind of an insult in 2 ways. First of all, it is enormous. I'm always looking for a picture of it, but I can't seem to find one. There we go. It's an enormous box. It didn't come with a very useful storage system. I mean, there's a few things that are kind of useful, but on the whole, you'll see it kind of go online and find out. Here it is. This is a picture of the box. It's really deep. It's got all these pockets in it, but everything's so spread out that it really makes it not very useful. I'll tell you, since I got the nesting box, I have not played Wingspan. Every time I want to play it, I think, ugh, I don't want to deal with that box. And I go play Wormspan or Finspan because they're just that much more friendly. So it's a bad, and then also the sort of secondary insult of it is they haven't released another thing since the box came out. I mean, there's been such a lag in development. They've included dividers for new expansions, but it's been years since they put anything out. I know something's probably coming, but it was really kind of this, and it kind of was a slap in the face that you got this huge box and nothing new to fill it up with. So, enormous box, again, too big and too oddly shaped really to be useful, and then it's so disorganized inside. The next game is my number 2. We already saw number 2, but here's another. I'm firing on all cylinders today. This is a game that I really enjoy, but again, the big box is so anxiety-inducing, I guess I would say, that it makes me not want to play the game. That is Anachrony. Anachrony is already a fairly heavy game, but once you add the Infinity Box, it is this huge, deep, heavy chest that, once you get it set up, you'll see here how it compares to the other box was actually pretty big, but it's just this enormous chest that makes me not even want to open it up. I don't want to lift it up. I see it sitting there. I think I'd like to play that game, and then I think, but I don't want to deal with the box. So that's another bad big box. Let's go on to my number 1 bad big box. My number 1 is not a game that I talk about much because the big box really almost killed the game for me, and that is Apex Legends. Oh, here we go. Nope, Apex Legends. Apex Legends, the board game, it's based on a video game, and it comes with these really kind of cool 3D terrain pieces. The box is the size of a small child. It is nearly twice as long as the Everdell big box. And it comes with all of these 3D terrain pieces that don't fit back in the box. You have to, the box is huge, yet you still have to disassemble all the terrain pieces just to put it back in. There's no inherent organization. It comes with these stupid dioramas that are supposed to fill up the box that do nothing. They're these huge plastic blocks, and yet, that's supposed to go in there, and these terrain pieces, you're going to have to take those apart each and every time you play the game. The box is enormous. I mean, I don't have a shelf that will fit the box. If you had like a calyx, it would stick out by about a half of a foot, maybe even a foot. It is that long. And it is just such a terrible big box that it made me angry. And I haven't gone back to the game after learning it. It's that bad. So that is my number one bad big box. Well, we've talked about bad for a while. Let's go on to talk about some things that did it well. With my number 5, good big box. All right. Now let's see. We have some comments from Pablo. Holding on, getting Finspan because I have a feeling that Aquarium Big Box is down the line. Well, I don't know. They don't have enough yet to fill an Aquarium Big Box. I honestly, like I mentioned, Wingspan has been killed by its box, and Finspan and Wormspan are kind of where it lives for me right now. But we'll see. The big box for Wingspan is the size of an aquarium, so hey, there's that. All right, talking about my number 5 good big box. This is the big box for Dune Imperium. So Dune Imperium isn't in that big a box anyway, and it didn't really need a big box, but there was this upgrade kit that came out for it, and it was a slightly larger box, and it came with a nice insert and places to store everything. It's really easy to figure out. Dune Imperium is a great game. This is the Uprising. That's not the one. I keep the regular one in the big box. Let me see if I can find Dune Imperium. Big box. All right. Yeah, here you go. Here's the big box. The deluxe upgrade pack, I guess. We'll go to the Dire Wolf store. So not necessarily a box that you must have in order to play the game, but it really makes everything nice. It fits all these minis well. It was thoughtfully designed. It's not too big. It's not that much bigger than a standard size box, and yet it gives the game sort of the presence it needs. It's the perfect size, the perfect weight, the perfect shape so that it fits on a normal shelf, and nothing really extra here. Sure, you have to pay $60 for it, but it also comes with the minis, and so you're also paying for that. But a relatively reasonable price. I really like this, and it makes Dune Imperium just so playable and so good. Let's go on to my number 4. All right, my number 4 is so one of a game from a cousin game for this almost made the bad big box list. This is the Castles of Mad King Ludwig. So they came out with a deluxe edition. Let's see if I can find it here. The collector's edition. And it has a really big kind of chesty box. These are going to be pictures from somebody selling it for too much money. But that's okay. It's you can see it's kind of a big, thick box. Oh, well, lots of pop-ups. You got to love those. Hey, you made it here. Why not give us all your stuff? And, there is an extra box for, well, that's a terrible picture. I'm not doing too well on this one, guys. But it's a really good big box, and it's well organized so that you can really just set the game up, take out the pieces, and you're good to go. It's a great game anyway. Everything's in large size, but it all fits, it all feels logical, and it makes the game more playable because of how it's organized. In fact, the old game had no organization. This one really does, and it's really good. So that's my number, 4, good big box, Castles of Mad King Ludwig. Let's go on to number 3. All right, my number 3 is a box I just talked about. It's the one that kind of got me thinking about this topic, and that is the Lost Ruins of Arnak. So they sold, Czech Games Edition sold a big box edition. They said it was going to be a limited run, and it came with a very small small expansion as well. It's called the Adventure Chest. And I was expecting it to be like the Everdell big box, but it really isn't. It's actually a normal size box. It's a little on the long side, but it's a pretty good storage insert. I know Ilya was complaining that there isn't the instructions for how to pack it up are on the side of the box, but that doesn't really bother me. There's a decent storage solution included. Everything fits comfortably and easily. It's easy to figure out. It makes the game so that you can just keep everything together and set it up and play it. Beforehand, I had to keep at least one of the expansion boxes. Well, this is just showing a map. But, it came with a little bit of extra content, which is always nice. But really, what you're paying for here is a thoughtfully designed big box that's going to store everything and make it accessible and make you want to play the game more. So that's my number 3 big box, Lost Ruins of Arnak. Let's go on to number 2. All right, my number 2 is Dead Reckoning, and I realize I may have cheated for my number 1, but that's okay. My number 2 is Dead Reckoning. So Dead Reckoning is a big, kind of heavy pirate game that I really like. It's probably going to feature high in my top 100 when I do it later this year. But it's this, there's this chest. Let's see if I can find it. Dead Reckoning chest. Let's see if I can find it. Nope, I'm going to find nothing but crap. It has a name, but I won't be able to find it. But it's this big wooden crate. And I started this list talking about a big wooden crate, but the Dead Reckoning big wooden crate is also a big wooden crate. The difference, though, is that the Dead Reckoning crate is so well organized. Big box. Let's see if I can find it here. Nah. I won't find. Well, maybe I'll find it on the Kickstarter. It was from the Port of Call Kickstarter. It's this large wooden chest, and it's about a 3 by 3 by 3 cube. Here we can kind of see it on the Kickstarter page. It's this one right here, and it's really nice because it has 4 drawers inside, and the drawers clearly indicate. Right, it comes with this little insert that you can put, that captain's chest, there you go. This insert that you put down on the bottom, and then you put everything on top of it, and it shows you what goes where. And it's well organized. Everything's logically stored. There's little boxes for everything. It just makes the game very playable. Also, what I love, what the One for Too Many Bones was missing, is there's this huge strap. It's a really sturdy strap on the top, so that you can easily transport this game where you want it to go. The Too Many Bones box, you kind of had to wrap both arms around and sort of wiggle out of the shelf. This one, you grab it. If you're going to play Dead Reckoning, you move it to your table, you're good to go. I really like this. It's very high quality. It feels like it's going to last. It makes the game stand out, and it makes it much more playable because everything was kind of disorganized in the box for the base game, especially, I'm having the hiccups. Especially when you added in some of the expansions. Looks like we got another comment here. Foundations of Rome is my favorite big box, considering the amount and size of the minis and how space was used efficiently. Any other companies would have probably made a child-sized coffin. That is true. I actually forgot about this one as I was thinking of that. It kind of broke my rule in that I was talking about just the box. The game comes in, a separate box that you can order. But like I said, I broke my rule for number 1 now that I look at it. But you're right. That box is a really good one. It has these really nice trays in it. It's super well organized, and it makes the game just a snap to set up. So I definitely agree with that. That one could have been on my short list. There's a lot of good big boxes. But anyway, let's go on to my number 1. My number 1, again, I cheated a little bit, but hey, it's my list. This one, I honestly forgot that this was not a big box because it feels like it was custom designed and built for this game. The game is, of course, Galactic Cruise. Let me pull that up. And the big box is just the big box that it comes in. Again, sorry for cheating. It is a big box, but it's so well organized. It comes with little trays for everything, and a nice, very detailed, how do we call it, sheet that shows you what goes into each tray, how each tray fits, what goes, how to organize your box. There's a detailed step-by-step walkthrough. It is just fantastic. I really was impressed by this big box, so much so that I thought it was a big box. And it is big, but it's really well done, just the perfect size. It makes the game stand out without making it feel imposing. And although it is huge on your table, I know when I open it up, everything's going to be neatly organized, and I'm going to remember where it goes. So that's my number one big box for right now. A couple others I could have mentioned. Freedom 5 has a terrible big box that is enormous, cavernous, and doesn't hold everything. Scythe has a great big box. It was one of the first ones that sort of did this big box kind of thing. And although it didn't come with any organization, that was a problem. Once you figure out how to organize everything, it fits nicely. Everything fits, all the expansions, perfect. Rolling Realms has a terrible big box. It's a small box, and it barely fits everything. They promised it would fit everything the game ever has, and it does technically, but it really feels like cheating because it's the size of a regular box. Trying to think what else. Games like Cthulhu Wars have a huge box that doesn't even hold everything for no reason at all. That's another example of a bad one. I can look over here behind me. I see the crate from, what was that, Viticulture. That's really good. That's well designed, well done. That's a good one. There's a lot of good ones. The Isle of Cats I can see up there. Their big box was pretty good too, and it's not that big. Anyway, so those are just some of my thoughts on a few good and bad big boxes. What makes a good big box? Not too big, not a weird shape, and helps you get the game out. It's not just the cardboard walls you're paying for. It's the solution of the storage and the ease of play. So that's why, we had Western Legends is one of the worst ones because of Witness. The Western Legends box, I even forgot about that. I practically threw that away. I didn't because I paid a lot of money for it, but it was a terrible big box. And it also doesn't really store everything. And the insert was crap too. That game makes me not, that big box makes me not want to play it. Whereas you go to something like Thunder Road Vendetta. That's a great big box. It's just about the right size. When they put out an expansion, they gave you a little riser to make it just a little bit bigger. And it holds everything. They came out with an insert for it. It's great. It makes, I can open that game and get it to the table. So those are some thoughts. I'm starting to ramble now. I guess I'll end it here. I've had a good time talking about big boxes, the pros and cons. I guess let me know what you think. We've got a few comments from Pablo here in the chat, but anyone else who watches this later, we'd love to know what your favorite or least favorite big boxes are. Do you like big boxes? Do you think they're a waste? Are boxes just too big anyway? Hey, that's all I've got for you today. I'm going to end things now. I'm going to wish you safe travels, courage when you need it, and I hope to see you back again soon for another episode of Wednesday Whimsy. Bye-bye.